living languages are constantly in a gradual process of change. No doubt you've noticed this about your own language and can probably think of a few words that you once used but no longer say today. But it isn't just words that change in languages. Change can affect many areas of language, such as semantic change, meaning change, syntactic change, so the sentence structure, morphological change, so change in the smallest units of meaning, and phonological or sound change. We'll be looking at each of these areas of change in more detail in this tutorial. So why is it important to understand how languages change? Because understanding the ways languages change helps to give us a clearer understanding of how a region may have developed and how the people groups in an area may share a common history and therefore cultural similarities. In a geographical region where there are a number of related languages, it probably means that they once spoke a single language that has changed and diverged over time into separate languages and dialects. Looking at the mechanics of language change can help us to answer questions like, what has changed? How did it change? Why did it change? How can we find out what earlier forms of a language were like? And also, for those involved in language development projects, translation, literacy development, or curriculum development, it's important to consider the fact that every language is in a process of change. So as we develop materials in a language, we're not looking for some pure form of the language, but the most widely communicative form of the language at the time. Words can change meaning over time, and there are several different kinds of meaning change that are common. Word meanings can change in how wide the meaning is. For example, meanings can become narrower, like these words in English. So from Old English, we have deer, meaning animal, and in modern English, that's become deer, a particular kind of animal. The Old English meat, meaning food, has become meat, meaning flesh food. Hund, meaning dog, has become hound, a hunting dog. Fugol, bird, has become fowl, a domesticated bird. The meanings of words can also become broader over time. For example, the Old English word bride, meaning baby bird in a nest, has become bird, and dog, a breed of dog, has become dog in modern English. Now note the interesting switch between dog and hound. So dog used to mean a particular kind of dog, and while hound meant any dog. And now they've changed meanings, as have bird and fowl. Words can also change their meaning to a related but different meaning. We call this semantic shift. For example, we have the Middle English bead, meaning prayer, becoming the modern English bead. Old English bucks, a kind of tree, has become box today. This kind of meaning change happens when a word develops a broader or additional meaning, and then the original meaning disappears. So about 100 years ago, gay only meant happy or fun, and then it developed the additional meaning of homosexual as well as the meaning of happy. Then people gradually stopped using it to mean happy, and now it only is used to mean homosexual. Words mostly change meaning gradually, so there is a change of small meaning shifts, often over a long period of time. These small shifts can add up to some major changes in meaning over time. The English word black, for instance, originally meant white, and it's related to words like blank, bleach, and bald. The original word, bleg, comes from the original Indo-European language and meant white. Then in the original Germanic language, it changed to blakas, meaning to blaze, and this then changed to mean to have blazed, then to be burned, and then black. Meaning change can also involve words changing to have a more positive meaning than they originally had. For example, the Old or Middle English knight meant boy or youth, and today it means knight, a high-ranking armoured man. Nice used to mean stupid, but today nice means pleasant. Or prettig meant tricky or sly, and today it's become pretty, meaning attractive. Words that have changed to have a more positive meaning more recently include terrific, which originally was terrifying and now means very good, and also wicked, which used to mean evil, but today we can use it to mean very good. Words can also change to have a more negative meaning. So the Old or Middle English selly, meaning blessed, has now turned into silly, meaning foolish. Or gabor, meaning farmer, has become bore, meaning a boring person or thing. Semantic change can also come about when the word for a part of something is used to refer to the whole thing. For example, saying wheels for car, or using tongue to mean language. Another reason meanings can change is because of word avoidance or word taboo. A community can decide that they don't want to say a particular word, so they use another word as a replacement to mean the same thing. The new meaning of the replacement word becomes its standard meaning. So, for example, the original Indo-European word for bear was rutko. In Northern Europe, bears were common and very dangerous, and people were scared to even say the word for them. So in early Germanic, the word was avoided and people referred instead to beron, the brown one. This word came down to Old English as bera, then to Modern English as bear. It also came down to Swedish as bjorn and to German as bar. Grammatical structures can also change over time. Even basic word order involving subject, object and verb can shift. In Old English, the basic word order was subject, object, verb. So she, him advised. Whereas in Modern English, the basic word order is SVO, she advised him. Sometimes the grammatical structure can change to make the sentence simpler. So from I'm going to go, we shorten that to I'm gonna go. I have got to go, I've got to go. The argument structure of a language can also change. For example, in Middle English, verbs to do with mental activities needed subjects in accusative case. Now they need subjects in nominative case. So from me likes it, we've now changed to I like it. Me thinks has become I think. Remember that morphemes are the smallest units of meaning in a language, which can include things such as affixes and intonation. They're not necessarily words. One way languages can change on the morphological level is by losing inflections. For example, Old English nouns belonged to one of 3 different genders or noun classes, and each gender had 4 case forms for each noun. So, for the noun hund, there was hund, hunde, hunders, hundas, hundum and hunda. Depending on the gender, masculine, feminine or neuter, and case, nominative, accusative, dative or genitive. In Modern English, all genders have disappeared and all case endings have disappeared except genitive, the possessive case, so we only have hound, hounds and hounds. The opposite also happens when morphemes join together to become a single morpheme. So from going to gonna, got to, gotta, ought to, oughta, have to, hafta. Another type of morphological change is reanalysis, when speakers reanalyze part of a word as if it was a morpheme, when originally it had not been a separate morpheme in that word. For example, hamburger was originally a kind of food from Hamburg. Then various other forms such as beef burger, cheeseburger, veggie burger and so on were used. So this created a new morpheme, burger. Another example of reanalysis is the word mugguccino, meaning a mug of cappuccino coffee. The noun cappuccino originated in the 1940s from the Italian and means coffee made with milk that has been frothed up with pressurized steam. It comes from the Italian word capuchin because its colour represents that of a capuchin's habit, which was a friar belonging to a branch of the Franciscan order. Speakers treated the word as if it was spelled cup-accino, with the first part being the morpheme cup. Then it was simply a matter of changing this morpheme to mug. Other recent new forms that use the new morpheme chino are mochaccino or chocochino. Frappuccino, trademarked by Starbucks in the 1990s, uses the word frappe, the Greek iced coffee, with the morpheme chino. The most important kind of change in language for understanding the way languages are related to each other is phonological or sound change. Sound changes tend to apply consistently throughout a language, so they let us see sound correspondences between related languages. That helps us see how languages within a family group together into branches or subgroups. There are many kinds of sound changes, and we'll look at a few of the most important ones. Languages change to become more efficient. One way this happens is that sounds that take more effort to produce change to sounds that require less effort. This is called lenition or weakening. Voiceless sounds require more effort than voiced sounds, so one common form of lenition is for voiceless sounds to become voiced over time. Also, the more that the mouth is closed when producing a consonant, the more effort is needed. The various manners of articulation can be listed from strong to weak. Those that take more effort are first. So stops, fricatives, nasals, laterals and approximants. The Urari language, an Aboriginal language from northern Queensland, shows lenition, as you can see here. So p, a voiceless stop, in the ancestral language has changed to w, a voiced approximant, in the modern language. So pinta has become winter, pilu has become wilu, and pata has become wata. The fullest form of lenition is for a sound to weaken so much it disappears completely. In the Kara language, an Austronesian language from New Ireland in PNG, all the vowels at the end of a word have disappeared. And also the p, a voiceless stop, has changed to f, a voiceless fricative. So tapine has become tafin, punti has become foot, and topu has become tuf. In Standard Fijian, an Austronesian language from Fiji, it's the final consonants that have been lost. So tangis has become tangi, ikan has become ika, bulan has become vula. Another form of weakening is when a cluster of consonants are simplified by one of the consonants disappearing. In English, word final clusters like mb and nga were reduced by losing the final stop. So lamba has become lamb and hanga has become hang. Another very common kind of change occurs when a sound is affected by the other sounds around it. Sounds can become more like the sounds around them. This is called assimilation. Complete assimilation involves the sound becoming exactly the same as the sound next to it. So from the original Germanic, findan, in Icelandic this has become finna. Gulth has become gul, and unthan has become unna. In partial assimilation, sounds change to become more like the sounds next to them in some way. So one common kind of assimilation is palatalization, where a consonant changes its place of articulation to become palatal when it's next to a front vowel. For example, in English, k changed to ch before front vowels like e and e. So in Old English we had keen, and that has today become chin. Kesi has become cheese, and kiriki has become church.